Sup, my dudes, Valkyrja. Today with Yelan out, we all know how good she is. If you say Yelan, whatever, comparable Xingqiu, whatever, to me it sounds like you're coping. Yelan is nuts. Yelan is cracked. And as I like to go ahead and do, we are on the Honey Impact, our Honey Hunter World page, and we are going to look at the early comments of Yelan and try to find some really good takes, if you know what I mean. I've been glancing over them. From what I mostly could see, for once, it seems like the community kind of understood from the get-go that she was going to be really good due to the way HP scaling, the way HP multipliers work, and the fact that she was purely HP. So, we'll go ahead and see exactly what they're saying, and we're going to try to find some very interesting takes. Anyways, let's get into it. Here we go, we found a good one. Rehilitral X Kaisuke on 30th of March said, "Genuine question, what's so special about Yelan? She's just a support. Ayato is far stronger, like I'm doing minimum 7k damage per slash. Yelan is just a weaker Xingqiu. She needs cons and best in slot weapon. She even copied Xingqiu's hairstyle." Well, I'm not going to go into all this because it seems like there is a bunch of people already saying a bunch of stuff. But I'm going to let you guys know that she does not need any consolation. I'm pretty sure I've shown that in my videos, and she does not need her best in slot weapon. You can make just fine with Favonius. Favonius is going to be a good option on her. Also, Sacrificial Bow is really good too. That I know you can just tap her skill and, you know, do a little short version of it. But you want to reduce her on-field time as much as possible, so I think Favonius is still a really good option. As far as her damage getting up, if you want her damage up, obviously you're going to want a weapon that complements her damage if you want to focus that. But for her off-field support style, Elegy is a really good option as well. So you don't need her best in slot weapon. This is definitely not true. You don't need constellations. 100% also not true. And I definitely don't think Ayato is stronger than Yelan. And Yelan is definitely not a weaker Xingqiu. So yeah. It didn't take long to find an interesting take, and we found one. This is the first one I've actually seen talking about this. Leon said that Adapt with Ease passive was ridiculous. A 3.5% damage increase per second, up to 50% increase is no joke. Imagine pairing her with Hu Tao and Xingling, or even any other character, because this buff is universal, unlike Shinha, for example, who only buffs cryo damage. I'm only curious about what set to use on her. Will 2-piece Tenacity plus 2-piece HOD be good, or anything else? Well, 2-piece Tenacity, 2-piece HOD definitely can be good. 4-piece Emblem is also very strong. There's lots of set options you actually have on her, depending on the playstyle you want her to be. Even Wanderers is a good set on her if you want to make her like a main DPS. But I personally went with 4-piece Emblem because I wanted to get her ult damage as high as possible and capitalize on the amount of energy recharge I was going to give her, because I want to keep her ult with a lot of uptime because I have C6 Raiden, and C6 Raiden lowers the cooldown on ults by a couple seconds, so it's really important for me to keep her ult up a lot to match the amount of uptime Raiden's going to be able to provide her. But yeah. The Adapt with Ease passive is absolutely ridiculous, and it's one of the very first things I noticed about her as well. That passive is nuts. More expensive but slower Xingqiu. Cool, Kazuha it is, then no need for her. Dumbest thing I've seen all day. I've seen worse. But, yeah. This is what we're here for, are these. Oh, another one. I didn't even have to look that far from the last one. 5-star Xingqiu, quite literally. I agree, her burst is almost the same, also agree. She does not have 50% damage reduction and 15% water resistance, though. But that clunky charge shot ability, which is already a pain on Sara, her second passive is her redeeming quality, but she herself would most likely not deal as much damage as Xingqiu. I see. Well, the thing about the charge shot with her is a lot of people have pointed out to me that I don't use her charge shot, and there's a very good reason why. You don't need to. I'm trying to limit the amount of actual field time I have with her. Why do I want to aim and shoot the bow? I don't want to have a lot of field time with her. I want to cycle my team as fast as possible to be able to rotate back to my main DPS, who normally with Yelan is Raiden Shogun. So yes, the charge shot, it's not really clunky, but you could just not do it. You don't have to do the charge shot. You don't have to do the barb shot. It's just, you don't have to do it. Person with the name Yelan kind of summed it up for a lot of people. Finally, I stopped using fucking Xingqiu. Yep, A lot of people were using Xingqiu because he was a really consistent Hydra applicator. And whenever they saw Yelan, they were like, dear God, thank you. I wanted some variety. Now you got it. Here we go. Here's a good one. Doesn't heal, doesn't reduce damage taken, doesn't increase stagger resistance, doesn't reduce Hydra resistance. Probably relying on C1 to have smooth rotation. No. Occupies considerable amount of field time. Nope. Meta-wise, it seems Xingqiu will be unchallenged after all. Other than that, her dashes, multiple proccing, should be really fun to play. They are. As for a charge shot passive, can prove to be useful in overworld scenarios. I guess killing Timmy's birds. But let's break this down little by little. Doesn't heal. Xingqiu's healing is negligible at best. You barely notice the healing. It's not a lot. Doesn't reduce damage taken. Fair enough. She does not reduce your damage taken. That is a very important path. And also doesn't reduce stagger resistance. Most characters now actually have built-in stagger resistance to their passives, so having units that basically give like supports that give your main character stagger resistance isn't really as beneficial as it used to be, because characters like Raiden, Kokomi, etc., Ito even, a lot of these newer DPSs have built-in stagger resistance while their ults are active. So while they're in their DPS windows, they have built-in stagger resistance, so it's not that big a deal. Doesn't reduce Hydra resistance. It's not a big deal because odds are you're running at least one Animo on the team to reduce Hydra resistance, so that's kind of whatever. And then probably relying on C1 to have smooth rotation. As I said, no. Absolutely not. You do not need C1. All you're going to do is tap the skill and get her out. Occupies considerable amounts of field time. Once again, I didn't know for a long time about the tap of the skill, and a tap of the skill is so fast, it's not a big deal. You can skill tap, use ult to cancel frame 1, and then once you're in your ult, you should be getting the particles that were generated by your skill. You can swap her out the second the ult animation's over. So no, she does not occupy a considerable amount of field time. It's slightly more than Xingqiu because the ult animation is longer. So that's the only downside. Other than that, she's a perfectly fine unit. I think she's really, really good. So it's really funny to read these takes of her versus Xingqiu, because that's exactly why I did the showcase like that. So I'm going to call it there. I don't want to lose too many brain cells. I'm going to call it on this glorious take right here. We found a couple. I don't want to keep going through them. You can see they're within about a 5-hour span of whenever she first came or first was announced. This is why you kind of want to reserve judgment for stuff until it comes out, basically. Because Yelan came out, I kind of knew Yelan was going to be really strong. But I waited till the end of beta to see all the changes that was going to happen. And basically, Yelan came out strong as hell, and she is still insanely strong. One of the strongest units that I've played in Genshin. I think she's really, really good. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I enjoy doing this from time to time, but I don't want to spend too long in the comment section on these websites. Because Honey Impact, especially their comment section, is something else. But it seems like most people had a good idea of how good Yelan was going to be and exactly why before she, basically, whenever she was announced frame 1, you just have every now and then somebody having a really nice take that I like to read and laugh at. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.